We're going to use ChatGPT to role play a client meeting where ChatGPT is the client and I'm the account answering its questions. And this is a great tool to utilize to practice how we speak to clients, because we want to make sure that we have clients understand exactly what we're saying and that our explanations are just easy to understand. It's just simple. It shouldn't be complicated. It shouldn't be mixed with a bunch of accounting jargon. It should just be easy, put in layman's term, right? So ChatGPT has a tool where you could use voice and it talks back to you through voice. And this pretty much is going to mimic an actual client meeting. So to start, we need to prompt ChatGPT on its role and its task and things like that. So let me get the prompt ready. So let me click on this. You are going to act as a client and I am the accountant. You as the client, you're going to ask me questions about buying your first home and the tax implications that come with it. And you're also going to have some follow-up questions after I give you my initial answer. And your job is to listen to me and make sure that it's easy to understand. If at any point it's hard to understand, you will let me know that you did not get it and I should rephrase the explanation or re-explain it in a way that's easier to understand. My role is to answer your question in a way that's easy to understand. So go start asking your question.
No worries. So as your pretend client, my first question would be, I'm buying my first home and I've heard about mortgage interest deductions. How exactly does that work and what do I need to know about it?
For the mortgage interest deduction, if your loan is $750,000 or less, then that mortgage interest that you paid throughout the year, you could deduct the full amount of it off of your tax return. And this goes into whether you itemize or not, which is a whole different explanation. But in general, if your loan is less than $750,000, then the interest that you pay will be deductible. Now, if your loan is over $750,000, only a portion of it will be deductible. So pretty much the interest up to the $750,000 loan amount will be deductible. Anything that you paid excess of $750,000 will not be deductible. So we usually just have to run a calculation based off the ratio and we could determine how much you could deduct.
That makes sense. Thanks for breaking it down like that. I do have a follow-up question though. If I'm also paying property taxes, how do those deductions work? Are there any limits on that as well?
There are limits on property taxes as well. Now, with the big beautiful bill, the new limit is going to be $40,000. And imagine $40,000 as a bucket. And in that bucket, you could put in state income tax and property taxes inside that bucket. Now, if it goes over, if that the total of those two goes over $40,000, that excess can't be deducted. So the max you can deduct when you combine state income tax and property tax is $40,000. Now, however, if you live in a state that has high property tax or high state income taxes like California, there's a good chance that your state income tax alone is already over $40,000. So if that's the case, then your property taxes won't help anything inside the deduction at all because you've already gone over the $40,000 limit inside, say, that bucket.
Got it. That's a great analogy with the bucket. It really helps put things into perspective. Thanks for explaining that so clearly.
Now, I want you to analyze this conversation that we just had. Rate it from 1 to 10 on conciseness, easy to understand, correctness, and likability.
All right, so I'd say for conciseness, I'd give us a solid 8 because we kept things pretty straightforward and to the point. For ease of understanding, I'd say a 9 because we used analogies and broke things down in a simple way. For correctness, I think a 10 because everything was accurate and on point. And for likability, I'd say a 10 too because it was a friendly and easygoing chat.
What areas of improvements would you suggest?
I think we did great overall. If we wanted to improve, we could maybe add even more examples or scenarios to make it super relatable. Also, maybe we could break down some of the terms even further for someone who's brand new to these concepts. But overall, I think we nailed it.
What were the positive points that you think I should really lean into to continuously make sure that I do that in future meetings?
I think one of the things you did really well was using clear and simple language, which makes these complex topics easy to understand. You also had a really friendly and engaging tone, which makes the conversation enjoyable and approachable. And lastly, you used analogies really effectively, like the bucket analogy, which helps people visualize and remember the concepts better. So definitely keep leaning into those strengths.
Okay, perfect. That's it. That's was just 1 to 2 questions that the AI asked, and I just answered it. But it's just a way for me to practice on how we speak taxes to clients, making sure that's easy to understand, it's concise and short, and that we really avoid accounting jargon. That's really what I always want to train my employees on, is that we want to make sure clients understand what we're saying. That's as straightforward as that. So using ChatGPT, great tool to practice on, and remember, you're safe, because even if you get it wrong, it's okay. ChatGPT will probably just correct you later on. And the thing is, you can't be wrong with clients. So this is a great way to practice, because you want to be able to practice everything over and over again before you could actually get better. And once you're ready to speak to clients, then you've already prepared. ChatGPT already prepared you. So let's get chatting.